Once upon a time, there was a very old woman who had lost her child. She, throughout her life, had lots and lots of hardship. There were wars, there were famines, there were lots of traveling around looking for food. And at one point, she lost her son. Her son had decided to go out and look for some food across the ocean on an island that they could see from the beach. And the son went over there to find food and never came back. Days passed, and the old woman still didn't see her son. Weeks passed, and still she didn't see her son. Months passed, and still she had not seen her son. She became so worried. So she decided she had to go to the island. It took all her strength to make a boat, a raft of sorts, with a little sail and an oar. And once she made it, she pushed it out to sea, and she jumped on, and she sailed it, and she rowed it all the way across to that far away island. With each oar stroke, she said to herself, "I'm one step closer to my son." And her hope was growing bigger and bigger. She was so looking forward to the day that she'd find her son again. So she pushed and got across the sea all the way to the island. When she landed, she was exhausted and fell asleep. She slept all night and all the next day. And when she woke up, standing above her was another woman, a younger woman. Then she said, "Hello." But the younger woman didn't say anything. And the old woman again said, "Hello, hello." And the young woman didn't say anything. Finally, the young woman started saying all sorts of things, but the old woman couldn't understand her. "Oh, she must speak a different language. I must try to communicate with her and find out where my son is." So the old woman found a stick and started to draw. She drew the big land where they came from. She drew the sea, and she drew the island. She drew a picture of herself and pointed to it. She drew a picture of her son and pointed to the sun crossing that ocean over to the island. And then she drew a picture of herself with tears in her eyes. And then finally she drew a picture of her taking that raft across the sea looking for her son. And the young woman understood. She started jumping up and down. She was very excited. And she started running away. And the old woman didn't know what to do. And the young woman turned around finally and saw the old woman was not following her. And she waved her arms and beckoned for the old woman to follow. So the old woman moved as fast as she can. And they walked and they walked and they walked way up high onto the highest part of the island. And there beneath a big tree was a big stick. And the young woman pointed to it. And the old woman looked confused. And the young woman pointed at the old woman and pointed then at the stick. But the old woman was still confused. Finally, the young woman started drawing, and she drew the same pictures as the old woman. But she drew the picture of the sun crossing over into the island, but then eventually getting hurt and being sick and dying. And the old woman finally understood. Her son had died, and it was there under the tree that he was buried. And she was so sad. She started to cry, but the young woman was there and held her. Then the young woman said, "Goodbye." The old woman did not understand, but the young woman waved and had to run away. The old woman could see from there that there were a few other people on the island, but they were all getting into a boat, and the boat looked like it was getting ready to leave. The young woman came back and tried to convince the old woman to come with her. Even though they couldn't speak the same language, they started to understand each other. And the old woman said, "No, this is where my son is. This is where I want to be." It was starting to get dark, so the young woman ran back down to the boat, and she and the others got in the boat and rowed away. And the old woman spent that night under the tree next to the big stick. And when she woke up in the morning, she decided, this will now be my home, this island. I cannot leave. I will not leave if my son cannot leave. And there she lived for the rest of her life. The end.